Hey guys, today is Saturday, March the 4th of 2023, and I wanted to do a quick update on the US dollar. A lot of things are kind of getting spicy here, so without any further delay, let's get into it. So this is what I call my mind map. This is where I put my thoughts and kind of look at the big picture of everything that I'm putting. And I'm still missing some stuff because I just got so much going on in my world, but I just do little pieces and just keep updating it. So we're going to start off with the cycles. Instead of showing you all the cycle stuff, I just wanted to show you what I'm seeing. The weekly cycles, the 227, the 395 are bullish. The only one that's bearish is the 181. You can see that we hit troughs on May 14. The 227 hits a peak on March 19th, and the 395 hits a peak on April 3rd. Now, using the daily cycles, I split it between 10 years and 5 years, and even the 5 year, the 289, just bottomed out, and it's on a bottom departure. So it's going to hit a peak July the 20th of this year. And then, stretching it out a little more, not being too fractal, like 5 years. These are Gann years that I use. There's a 222, hit a trough February 1st. Its peaks on May 31st, and the 254 roughly hit a peak trough around February 1st, and this one hits a peak around June the 14th. So looking at it by color code, you can see there's a lot of bullish cycles. These bottomed out, and these are, all bullish except one, which is the 181. So in regards to cycles, weekly and daily, they're very positive. Elliott wave, we already know we're in a wave 5 on the monthly. Things got a little more updated here. We currently did a wave 3 on February 3rd, and currently working on a wave 4. We don't have a wave 4 yet on the weekly chart, but if looking at the daily chart, we got a wave 5, September 28, wave 3, February 2nd, wave 4. We already just established that on February the 27th, and we're currently working, if it's going to play out, a wave 5. So this is very interesting in regards to the Elliott wave theory. And there I have some numbers in regards to sentiment, and I have some dates. And looking at the commitment of traders report, the trend is still up. In regards to seasonality, using the 5-year average, you can see that March is pretty strong. February is the strongest, and April is flat, and then May is the weakest. But March is pretty strong using 5 years. We go to 10-year, you can see that March is a little stronger, February is the strongest, and April is the weakest. We go to 15 years, you can see that March is a little stronger, above the 50%. February remains the strongest, and April is the weakest. And using 20-year, same thing. April is still the weakest. So these are little things you want to keep on the back of your mind, or make some notes in regards to seasonality of what the dollar, in percent of months in which the US dollar closed higher than it opened from, all the years that I used, the 20, the 15, the 10, and the 5. Looking at our seasonality chart, a couple of dates you want to keep on your radar. Using the 5-year average, March 8th. Looks like it's pretty hot. It dips in. And then looking at the 10-year average, there's a little peak on March the 13th. And then March the 16th, the 15 years pulls back. You can see that the blue one kind of is a 5-year on the 15, 16. They kind of put a swing low, shoot up. We'll get a nice little pop into March 22nd. And then they kind of like go sideways all the way to April. Those are the dates you want to keep on, make some notes in regards to seasonality, what the 5, the 10, and the 15-year do within March. Okay, in regards to commitments of trader report, looking at the dollar and the big players, commercial and large speculators, you can see when we hit a peak around September, large commercial, they were buying the dollar while it was going down. And then now they kind of pulled back and now kind of stalled. They're not buying more, but I guess they're just observing. And also there was some issues with the COT report. We haven't been getting any numbers until now. So now things are kind of looking a little more clearer. Large speculators are selling. So they were lined up. and they stopped selling here, kind of bought some, and then kind of sold off. So that's where we're at as of February the 6th. It'll be interesting to see if the dollar starts pulling back. Are commercial going to continue buying? So if commercial is going to continue buying, they need to take out this 570, and large speculators need to like take out 13.35.8 and continue pushing lower. But if it's not going to return and it's going to continue now pushing higher, following the cycles and stuff like that, then you want to see commercial take out and start, purchasing, while large speculators will now start accumulating. This is my trading view chart. This is where sometimes I put some notes, my demand and supply zone, and you can see that I have an Elliott wave count, wave 4. We have that established on the daily, and this is a target that I've been using for a while, which is 98 squares, dealing with square of 9 of Gann. This is just, a projection, probability. It may play out, may not. What's throwing a monkey wrench in this forecast is that a lot of the weekly and daily cycles are up. But then, you got seasonalities that, March and April, especially April, are weak. So we'll see how this is going to play out. But this is just something I'm entertaining in my mind. If this plays out, this would be the, I guess, the best entry point of right now. If it turns down, if it doesn't, then it could be maybe a big A, B, C correction down. If this is still a wave 5 up here of September 28th. Looking at the calendar, looking at the average return by trading days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are bullish. Thursday's a little weak, and Friday is very bearish. Average return by week. The second week of March is pretty strong, pretty bullish, and I'm showing you the days that are kind of more bullish, which is Monday through Wednesday. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a nice little squeeze and trap some bears, and then Thursday and definitely Friday, sell off. Those are the dates in regards to average return by weekly and by daily. In regards to monthly, it's a little weak, March, but not much. April is the weakest, so that's the one that, if a wave 5 is going to play out, we got to look at April. But for this week coming up, those are the, the bullish days and the bearish days. Looking at now our Elliott wave, as you can see, we established a wave 3. We got a wave 4 on the 27th, kind of going sideways here. The fib grid got a target of 105.31. It's kind of stalling there. And if it's going to do a wave 5, there's a projection here of 97, which lines up with my square of 9, which is 98. It's just a couple of cents off, but that could be, that's a projection target. And if it's going to be really extreme, it could push even lower to 92. We put some other stuff here. I'm looking at some numbers that you can see from this high, 90 days. I can't remember if this is trading days or calendar days, but either way, 90 was very close to this low. And now I'm doing one over here. You got the 34 and then the 45 coming up that are important. The ellipse technique right here, if you zoom in, didn't really play out that well. I thought there was going to be some big move, but it's like more like an inside day. So you can see that the ellipse technique didn't do much here. I got a couple of levels here that I'm watching, and then this trend line that is coming down. I want to see if we could at least close above that trend line. And that's pretty much it. There's another ellipse over here, which is the March 9th. So we see how this is going to play out. Oh, let me see. There's anything else? No. Fibonacci is kind of finding support at the 25. There's the 38, which is that 106. It's going to push, and then center of gravity, which it could get down there and then maybe push even lower. Maybe trap some more bulls and then push it down. But so far, wave 4 is here. Let's see if this is going to push lower next week. But if it doesn't, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, like I said, in March, are very bullish. So it could push all the way to 106 or even, its center of gravity, which is 107, and then see what happens there. Or maybe push up all the way to like Wednesday. Thursday kind of fall, slow, pull a little bit, and then, Friday, if this is going to play out, push, even, lower. Looking at our midpoint chart, you can see that 104 and change is very important. That's the previous 50%, and it's just kind of going back and forth. Not closing above it. I mean, closing above it, but just kind of going sideways. So there's some kind of trap that's like going to play out. It's either going to squeeze everybody to the upside, squeeze to the downside, or just continue going sideways. But this is a key level. You can see on the monthly, we're above it, so that's bullish. On the weekly, we're kind of going sideways on it too. It needs to stay above 104, and change pretty much here. You can see on the daily range, we now are below 104.79. So if we can regain that next week, it could still not, not look good, not look too good for next week. But if we could close above there and stay above that 104.52, that would be great for the bulls. You can see in regards to volume, using a 2-year, 1 year, and 3 months, that this is the point of control. This is what the battle is. Right there, 104.48, 103.93, and 104.72. You can see right here the Tom D Mark candle hit just the 28th, but it's been going sideways, not really selling in the mobile band, so it's still positive. So something's cooking, and it's going to be a big move that's going to shock some people, either to the upside or to the downside. You can see value area high right here. There's a lot of support. And you got a PPS buy signal. So, MACD is still positive on the weekly. You're kind of battling the 50 and the 20 SMA. And look like the cloud is starting to look a little negative, but you're kind of just, you're just trying to gas for some air here. And on the daily, you're in the cloud. So it's going to get a little crazy and wild. As long as we can hold that point of control, even though the MACD is negative, sentiment is going up. Next week is going to be very interesting, and we could get out of this cloud and start trending higher in the short term. Okay, so this is my last clip. This is the what I call, it's not the master chart, but it's my scale chart at the 45 degree. And there's a couple of things here to note is that the dollar is, there's a Gann fan here of the 1/3, which would be support if it pulls back, using it from that swing point. I have another swing point here from the top. We haven't kissed the 45, so it's still, in bearish territory. Once we close above that 45 angle, then it's going to look very, very bullish. But so far, it hasn't gone up there yet. Pivoting from this swing point, you can see that we found support at the 1/3. And there's open air that it may be possible that it could kiss this 1/2. But so far it hasn't done that. And we got to see if it could cross over the 1/1 from the swing high of September. Using the Gann square, you can see that we hit the 1/8 and we're finding resistance there. And there's this vector point coming in, which is the March the 9th. So that's a Thursday. So yeah, Thursday could get a little, Friday's the one that it gets, on average return, which it sells off. But keep an eye on Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, typically bullish on the month of March. And let's see, pitchfork. So look, from this swing point here, you can see that we hit the 50% here and just kind of having a tough time. And we know the fib grid is the 105.31. And with Fibonacci, you got the 38.2, which is that 105 hitter right there. In regards to the Fibonacci timing, we just hit the 123.6 in regards to time. So that kind of lined up there towards the last week of February. And the ellipse I'm using, there's a lot of things lining up. This week is going to be very important. A lot of stuff is lining up here. I'm not going to make this, too long, but just keep an eye. There could be a big move, happening either to the upside or to the downside. I showed you the cycle, seasonality, Elliott wave count, Gann theory, and you just have to kind of. It's like one of those things. Is like, okay, are we going to push higher, or Elliott wave is going to do a wave 5? So this is the battle of the technicals and the theories and the techniques. You've seen a few here, and whichever you follow, there's going to be stuff that's going to go against you, and there's stuff that's going to be for you. So you have to, be very vigilant and put your stops. But I think this week things are going to start moving. As you can see, it's been going sideways. So something is brewing here on the dollar. So stay vigilant, keep watching it, and whatever plays out, next week we'll look at what developed and see what we can learn from that. Hopefully you like this video. Leave your comments below, and I'll keep you posting my thoughts on the US dollar.